Hey, this is Aliki from the Healthy Gut Expert Summit. How are you all? I see a couple of folks are popping on. I'm just going to switch and toggle between a few screens here so we can make sure that folks with questions start messaging me any questions in advance as I'm going to go through the agenda. I see a couple of folks are popping on. I'm just going to switch and toggle. All right. Hey, Christine, thanks for being here. Awesome. We've got a couple of folks piling on. This is great. I don't know if you brought your kombucha or a bottle of water or a tea. It's 7 a.m. here right now, so kombucha is a little early for me in the morning, but I have had a full probably 600 ml glass of water with mineral silica and lemon essential oil this morning, and my digestive excellence probiotic actually on an empty stomach, which is how we roll in this household. Thanks for being here. So please, I've got my team with me here. So if you wouldn't mind and you have any questions about day 6 or 7 or for the remainder of the event or anything that's since passed that you want to share, we have so many testimonials. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for being here and thank you for making this event what it is. We've got tens of thousands that have come on board, and not only that, our Facebook group is past, I think, the 1,200 mark now. So it's just truly exciting to have everyone also chiming in the group. There's a few recipes that are going on in there. Some people like Dr. Tom O'Brien's pectin recipe. Everyone's trying to figure out what the acronym IAK means. And everyone's exchanging breakfast ideas. It's just great. It's a lot of fun. So let me just jump into the agenda briefly. As you would have received via email, what I'd love to learn from you all, well, firstly, I'm going to just recap on the summit and how we came about. And then what I'd love to understand is if you've got any questions that you want to ask. So my team who are here is Heidi and Christine, and they're here as well. If you've got any questions, we're going to make sure I can answer them for you. And yeah, and so basically, let me just make sure I can, here we are. Just going to set this up on my chat box so I can see folks on both rooms here. All right. Oh, here we are. I'm just, there we are. Oh, Chad, hey, North Carolina, awesome. That's where our sponsor, Australian Excellence, is from. I'll be there in a couple of months, from Boone, actually. South Florida, awesome. Welcome, Marilyn. We love Florida. Thanks for being on. I know Christine's on. Awesome. Thanks, Christine. And we see we've got several more viewers here. So I'm just going to recap on the agenda again while you're all chiming in. Please pop in the chat now, just because that's where my focus is. I don't want to toggle between Facebook in here and kind of bamboozle you all. Hey, Jennifer from Maine in the US. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to see you all here. Like I said, we've had so many thousands, like tens of thousands now join this summit. I'm just so excited that you've all found some value to join in, and the chiming into the conversation and Facebook is phenomenal. So again, I'm just going to recap on the agenda, and then I'll just love to get started with a little chat here, but make sure, hi, Dina's on, awesome. Dina from Back to the Book Nutrition, who's one of our speakers and experts, was actually just on 2 days ago, which is awesome. Thank you for being here, Dina. Now, don't all jump and ask Dina questions at once. I can see, I know Karen Lee, Dr. Jason Horolak, Lee Holmes, and, oh, goodness me, and even Dr. Anne-Louise Gittleman, she's awesome. Everyone's just amazing as experts too. They've been chiming in the Facebook group. So it's like the mysterious experts are there. So if you tag them, don't overdo the questions, but they've been contributing and helping, which I'm truly grateful for. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, from Texas. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining. Awesome. Okay, so just to recap while you're all jumping on here, I'd love to go through the agenda that you would have received an email. This is the Healthy Gut Experts kombucha cocktail party. And again, I'm just going to apologize because it's just after 7 a.m. So I have a tea, which is a beautiful longevity tea, actually a gynostemma tea, and it's very adaptogenic and it's good for thrivability. It's actually very soothing for the digestion. It's really beautiful, as in just to, you know, bring you in and warm you up for the day, even though it's really warm here and it's summer. And of course, I've got my water in a non-plastic bottle. Okay, and what I'd love to cover today is, which you would have received in the email, is basically any questions you may have about the experts or the session. Please don't be shy. Ask questions here in the chat. I'd like to invite you to share any aha moments and the number 1 or 2 things that are resonating for you from what you've discussed or learnt amongst yourselves in the Facebook group, but also from the experts that have given you some tools and information and, dare I say, you know, recipes, strategies and actionable items that you have actually liked and enjoyed hearing about. Some of you may actually have been touched by some of them. I know a few people have expressed some, let's say, feelings or thoughts that are quite deep in the group. So I just want you to appreciate you all for doing that, because sometimes people don't voice when they want help or they want to ask for something. Don't ask me why I'm telling you this. I just feel like I need to. But I think it's important that sometimes when people express things, there's various other folks in the group that may not have asked, okay? And so every question is a good question. I want you to know that, okay? You probably got that from me from now, but I'm going to say it again. Any question is a good question. And we'd love to hear what actions our experts have inspired you to take. What 1 or 2 things you do something and you do it a lot more of, because that one thing helps you. It brings you some level of joy. It brings you some level of, I'm doing the right thing by myself and my family. It's going to help me longer term. It's like anything, you know, in like Chinese traditional medicine, if there's a beautiful herb or an adaptogenic herb or something that's powerful, like I love Eleuthero-Siberian ginseng, okay? If you don't take that, you don't get the cumulative resistance. I ingest high quality minerals. If I don't ingest that over a period of time, I'm building my cumulative resistance and my the lightness that the energy around the food brings. The other thing is the aha moments. What resonated? Anything that you've taken on board, and anyone who's got some initial results. I can also see folks posting recipes. Now I'm just going to come and say a little hey here. Hey Heidi, thanks for being on. Hey Vicky. Hey Magnus from Sweden. Awesome. I've got a lot of friends and colleagues from Sweden too. Great, beautiful place. Now, the other thing that I mentioned in my original kickoff, and I want to bring this to your attention here as we're talking through or sharing today, because that's what this is. It's a space, it's sharing, and it's caring, okay? There's no judgments here. Like I said, any questions are good questions, so feel free to ask me some. How to utilize what you'll learn. One of the 3-step protocols that I talked about initially, before I share that with you again, because some of you may have jumped into the summit late because you found out through a friend or a practitioner, or you saw it on Facebook, or you got my email somehow. Part of this whole summit and putting this together, and I'll share the background, is that if you want to have more healthful lifestyle or changes in your life and be more of the good that you are, you simply want to put strategies in place that help you be more of you. You know, like I said initially, there's no one newer than you. That's the Dr. Seuss thing, and I can say that because I have a child. So we're in that mode a lot, right? But when you understand and see how being healthy or having a healthy digestion or loving and enjoying your food, and in my culture, it's celebratory to enjoy your food. We, eat. We have moderation, we have lifestyle, we sleep and meditate a lot, we love the ocean. It's Mediterranean, we do that. It's like the European lifestyle. But when you see and envision for yourself something that's beyond you, of how having a healthy digestion, how being healthy, how having more energy, time, and freedom with your health, what it will help you to do. So if you start to pose that question to yourself, how being healthy helps me and others more. It's a simple, high-quality question. The higher the quality question, the higher the quality of the results, because there's that gap, there's that roadmap that starts to appear. And if you've got a strategy, boom, you just execute on that one by one. I know some people pull off the bandwagon. I understand there's sabotage and blocks and everything, these fancy words that people use. But if you know how it makes you feel and you do 1 or 2 things a day that help you feel more of that, miracles and magic can really happen. And then when you're around a collective community, a few doctors have spoken to the concept of community. And when they talk about community and relationships, it's very important to the healing process. That's why some people find communities of like-minded folks on a similar journey to stabilize and support each other. That's why some people go to a practitioner or a healer or a coach or a helper or a confidant that's going to encourage you, okay? And so that's the main essence of part of this. Now, the other thing, the 3-step approach that we talked about way back when, and I'd love to hear from you how far you've come, is the root cause and underlying cause that you perceive or know about your body, or tune into what your body needs, that is classified as like the mess or that's causing a problem. Even if it's not the actual root cause, it's one of them that could be a needle mover to help uncover the next one. And that's when the mystery and the beauty of who you really are as a being of natural intelligence here to do what you're here to do. And we want you to do more of what you're here to do, because you likely wouldn't be in this group if you didn't have a yearning of some sort. That's the first thing. The second thing is to clean up, house clean your home, you know, your environment, your body, your, you know, no pun intended, you know, the microbiome, and learn how to clean and nourish and care for yourself better by cleansing out or detoxing or releasing or letting go. There's so many metaphors for that on many levels, the mind, body, soul, socially, relationship-wise, in your career, mentally, emotionally. You know, there's so many ways that you can do that. Yeah, so there's so many ways that you can clean up the mess or whatever it is that you're perceiving that's causing you some concern about your digestion or health. And just to allow it to flow through you and let go of it and take a step that's going to help you to go to the third step, is what healthful practices can you put in place or strategies that become your baseline. I'm just using this like almost like a baseline of a pyramid. You know, like if you look at Maslow's theory, that's kind of like the hierarchy of survival for humans, you know, the Maslow's theory. But if you've got an architecture and a structure that's going to help you be solid, be healthy, have healthful practices, some support for yourself, regenerate, rehabilitate, reset, redirect yourself to create a sustainable foundation for health. That's where we're going with this. So I wanted to tap on that first, because that's kind of the agenda almost for whatever you do in your life. It's universally applicable. So I'm hoping that that resonates with a few of you. Let me just time back into the group here before I tell you a little bit about how we came about here. Hey, it's snowing where you are, Magnus. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Do you do snow angels outside? Maybe you can take us take a photo and pop into the Facebook group. That'd be beautiful to see you. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining all. I can see some folks probably aren't logged into YouTube for the questions. So if that's the case and you happen to be in our Facebook group, if you wouldn't mind, please pop over there. And I know Christine and Heidi, who have just been amazing. If we can have a thank you for Heidi and Christine. You've probably seen their names pop up every now and then in the Facebook group. I just want to thank you both for helping hold the space in our Facebook group, which has been really, really active. And I'm going to share some testimonials that I've seen. There's some recipes that have showed up. In fact, I was going to take a screenshot and send it to Dr. Tom O'Brien's office. I've sent a few beautiful compliments and comments. They've just been so special. So thank you for hanging out. Okay, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the summit again, just for the folks that have just joined us later in the series rather. So my name is Aliki, so hi. I spoke with a dear colleague of mine and friend, Dr. Audrey Lanford, and you know, my background is that I've run several events and summits. I have a long-term health and healing background, you name it, you know, yoga, conscious practices, everything that you can sort of see in that world, learning and working with some of the best, brightest doctors on the planet, where I've always wanted to learn strategies to heal thyself, right? To heal oneself, help the family and others in the community. And that's basically how I love to operate, and whether I do that in business or not. So my goal and intention was to put these strategies and these amazing individuals together as an event for you, so that you can discover the proven cutting-edge strategies that you need to regain control and mastery, rather, of your digestive health and your health, even if everything else has failed. And I know there's some dear souls here in the group that are, you know, at that point actually, or some folks are practitioners and they really want to learn from other practitioners as well, because like I remember Dr. Karen Lee, she says, oh, I really love learning from my colleagues, and she's been circling around this group too and helping answer questions, which has been beautiful. I see Dina on the call today. Thank you for being here. I know Dr. Jason Horolak's in the room, as I mentioned. Dr. Keith Wallace is also in our group, and he's amazing, the gut crisis conversation. And he had a beautiful gut quiz too that he was sharing. And you've got, you know, Dr. Nicole Birkins showing up in the room. And I know I've seen Lee Holmes also chiming in, and a few people have her recipe books. And folks are like baking and preparing, stewing till they're shiny on the outside, the apple pectin recipe as a great prebiotic that Dr. Tom O'Brien spoke to. So you can see the culture and the community is quite beautiful. So we've got these 38 amazing, exceptional doctors and health practitioners, and what they have done, and I would say you would probably agree today, and I'd love to hear from you what resonated from each for you, because I'm going to read some testimonials out in a moment, so hang in there, is they shared some of the most up-to-date, accurate, actionable information on natural approaches for digestive and health and holistic ways to support your immune system. You heard immune system mentioned a lot. You heard gratitude mentioned a lot. In fact, today, one of our speakers will talk on gratitude. Actually, a few of them will talk on gratitude and nature and natural intelligence, like Nadine Artemis. I know Chris Jaffarai touches on biodynamics and our correlation to the planet. Steph Stefanos talks about gratitude. You also have Dr. Damien Christoph, who talks about longevity and sustainable practices. And in fact, he's heading off to the Greek islands shortly to actually run one of his retreats on longevity, where he studies and learns from people who have a long life. And Kyle Brock's on today too, the producer of the Gut movie. And he's gone and studied from some a very specific sand tribe in Africa, of how they live off the natural intelligence of their environment as well, and their practices. And these experts also help you understand why so many people suffering from digestion issues actually get misdiagnosed, and what works when everything else fails. You heard a lot of that from Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Dan Pompa, and such as well. So they shared a lot of effective solutions, I would say, because a few of you who have come into the room who are aware of these individuals because you've been following or learning from them have shared what's worked for you. And I know Natalie Credanen was mentioned there, Dr. Narala was mentioned there, SIBO, and SIFO, mostly SIBO, as you know, it's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Dr. Jason Horolak has also been mentioned several times, Dr. Tom O'Brien, and folks that have come from their communities, including Lee Holmes and a few that come to mind, that they've shared what's worked for them, and Dr. Dan Pomper as well. I mean, on average, we're getting around 2,000 views per day on each expert. This is phenomenal. So I want to thank you all for stepping into what you would love for your health. So for anyone on the YouTube channel here, please pop in any questions. I see there's quite an international crew, so everyone is different. So let me know what you want me to answer about the experts who's since gone or been, or you maybe missed that lecture or that interview and you want me to answer a question. Let me know, because I did speak to every single one of these amazing individuals. So if I just pop back to how this summit came about, you know, the history of this is, I want to thank Dr. Audrey Lanford. She's the CEO of Australian Excellence and the creator and the sponsor of our Healthy Gut Expert Summit. And I partnered with her several months ago, probably in August of last year, actually, because yet the work that she does with her corporation, Australian Excellence, you can have a look online there, australianexcellence.com. You will see the testimonials. Some of them could make you cry. I'm just warning you, because the solution is just so beautiful and simple. And yet, in spite of how much success her customers have had, she also realizes, like the experts realize, and I think you realize, and I can't speak on behalf of you, but I know I do, having been in the industry for 2.5 decades, is that no one product or protocol is perfect for everybody. So she asked me and created the idea for this summit and asked me to host it, which has been absolute pleasure. We're in day 6. And no, I'm not like falling asleep at the wheel and tired and exhausted. I'm just sharing that with you because it's day 6, people. There's tens of thousands of this, and I couldn't be more thrilled with the fact that you're here, that you've shown up for your health, that you've shown up to learn more about you. And a lot of you, may I just say, have shown up because you've got folks in your family or family members directly or indirectly or friends that are actually too sick to get online and join, and you wanting to find out more strategies to help them in and out of hospital, in and whatever it is that they're going through that can't possibly be pleasant. But of course, there's some revelation happening for them through their ailment too, that they're discovering about them, and their family and friends are joining our summit. It's amazing. So yes, I'd like to personally thank Dr. Audrey and Australian Excellence for helping us create and sponsor this summit. That's helped us reach far and wide as well through our networks. So it's beautiful, and through yours. Now, I've got a couple of questions and things here as well coming through. Oh, beautiful. There's a message from Audrey as well. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Beautiful. She's such a great soul. Thank you, Dr. Audrey. Someone's mentioned here, I was really blown away by Don Tolman's interview from day 3. I learned so much. And I also loved today's interview with Steph Safandos. That is so amazing. I'm just going to, what I'm thinking of doing, I'm just going to, I'm not sure if he's on right now. I'm just going to message him live on voice here. So we're here on the live Hangout. So again, someone's sharing with us. I also loved today's interview with Steph Safanos and was inspired on a spiritual level. Does anyone else feel that way? And again, she says, and this individual, Christine, if you've got her name, she wants to share. I was blown away by Don Tolman's interview from day 3. Amazing. So what I want to share is gratitude and what Steph talks about. If every one of you tune back into that interview about the 30-minute mark, just tap into what you feel from what you hear or see or feel. The area of gratitude that not only Steph talks about, you know, Chris Jaffarai talks about that today, and so did Dr. Vincent Pedre. I go to say Padre, but it's Pedre. He'll be here at a functional medicine conference in a couple of weeks. So what I want you to feel into is what that gratitude sounds like, feels like, smells like, looks like. It's not like you're crying because something's wrong. There's an element of heart opening that has you release into what is another way to find your homeostasis, to align with your optimum natural intelligence to heal. What did I say? I said a few woo-woo things. I'm not going to go too woo-woo on you. Beautiful. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Someone says, that was me. Yes, I'm saying I felt that too. Anyone else feel that way? Thanks, Christine. So on Steph's interview, Dr. Vincent Padre, Chris Jaffarai, you'll tap into that from Dean Artemis too. She's very connected to nature. And in fact, I have her book here. Sorry, as I come in front of the screen here, close up, the Renegade Beauty. What a beautiful book about nature and how you are so beautiful around nature. Absolutely gorgeous. So let me go into the homeostasis side. What you would have also learnt from Dr. Emran Mayer is the mind-gut connection, okay? He talks quite a lot about that, and I tapped in with him because some of you may be aware of things like the biology of beliefs and so on, and I tapped into that with him primarily because he has subconsciousness practice too, and he brings that into his work. He's helping bring the brain back into science. And there's a gut-brain correlation. Some of you may have heard that. Dr. Keith Wallace has a consciousness practice he talks about as well. So I encourage you, if you missed that on day 2, to pop back there. If you've got the Platinum Pass, and listen in there as well. It's amazing. The other person and individual today, actually tomorrow on day 7, is Dr. John Douillard. I would love for you to tap into his interview because there's some real conscious practices that he talks about too, that I think you'd benefit from greatly by even being in the presence, because he talks about seasonal eating and how to enjoy your food around the seasons. Don Tolman, that was mentioned here, thanks Christine, is a whole foods medicine man. He also talks about how to prevent and cure ulcers and indigestion naturally, plus many other strategies that you would pick up on, including the 7 ancient keys to healing that have actually sustained the ages of ages, because some ancient practices just, they haven't sustained it for some reason. Okay, Jennifer, hey, welcome. Dr. Jacoby mentions the breathing exercises. Yes. You know what? Can those breathing techniques be shared? Look, she mentioned it. I didn't get that as an offering. That is part of her programs to help people. Thank you for asking that question, Jennifer. Awesome. Now, I want to mention about that. You can go to thebiomeclinic.com and inquire with Dr. Narala. I just know that her beautiful center and clinic with several practitioners is around 7 hours from Sydney in northern New South Wales. And she has offered her SIBO test, which isn't, no, she hasn't offered a SIBO test. Her website, SIBO test, is the free SIBO quiz that will help you determine where you're at there. And of course, I've also posted under her headshot, her beautiful photo with me, the actual biphasic diet. The breathing techniques are not in there. Please contact her Biome Clinic. Secondly, Dr. Emran Mayer, who is also since on the interview, his day was actually, Dr. Emran, beg your pardon, is on day 7. He talks to abdominal breathing, but they're not actually doing exercises. He has a beautiful video that he's shared in the bonus section of our Platinum Pass. And I asked his team to put that together for us from his clinic. It's actually one of the practitioners that's teaching a breathing technique for gut abdominal healing and brain connection. It's very beautiful. It's only about 13 minutes long. So Jennifer, maybe if you're not already a Platinum Pass holder, it's well worth getting it, because that's what he uses with a lot of his patients, because he practices out of UCLA as well. He's amazing. Thanks for asking, Jennifer. Chad, Camo, thank you so much for being here. All speakers are great and their web links added a lot to their content. SIBO items were very informative. Got a lot from Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Cates, Dr. Tolman, Dr. Keith Wallace, and Rebecca Coombs. Thank you, Chad. That is awesome. And he says, I really like the blending of ancient ways and new modern science of functional medicine, and I'm applying our gut learning to my diet adjustments. This is amazing to hear. I'm just wondering if I can't do a voice recording for Don Tolman and read that out again for him. Yeah, I've just got Don here. Don, I'm just sharing a little bit. I'm on a live hangout with thousands of folks that are chiming in from the summit. And Chad actually says here, he really loved your interview. He says, I really like the blending of ancient ways and new modern science of functional medicine, and I'm applying gut learning to my diet adjustments as in fine tuning. And Christine Field also says that she was really blown away by your interview. And thank you so much. So I've just sent that message over to Don, so he'll get that. And he does his little cowboy cheer. He's awesome. Jennifer, thank you very much. I'll be able to look into it. Excellent. Yes, the abdominal breathing, very beautiful question. And I really love that you asked that, because that could also be a little serendipitous, because today there will be, again, a couple of doctors have specifically talked about movement. The difference, Dr. Gillian Teeter talked about the difference between movement and exercise. Christine says, we love you, Don. That's awesome. Christine, take a snapshot of that. I'll send it to Don. I'm actually giving some of these experts feedback from the beautiful things you're saying, because if I may just say that before I talk about answering, you know, some of the physiological stuff, I just want to tap into that, because Dr. Venus talked about that. And Dr. Gillian Teeter. You know, some of these experts and doctors are so busy now. They've gone to a point, like I know Dr. Rick Sarnat does this, and Dr. Vincent and Dr. Frank Lipman, Dr. Tom O'Brien in particular, when he talked about a couple of cases, he also, and, you know, Dr. and Louise Gittleman, a lot of these individuals teach practitioners, because their practices have gotten so big, they can't possibly fulfill the connection time with everyone anymore. And they do keep part of that practice going, but they train the trainers and they teach the teachers and they teach the practitioners and the other healers, which I think is beautiful. And Dr. Kurt Waller has several programs too that he offers not only to the practitioners, but to the public, like the Autism Recovery, for example. And there's a whole new toxin program he's doing, and I've been speaking to him and his business partner Brian about some of those programs. But I love to give them feedback too, because they really are on a mission, and they're courageous, and they're writing books. They're spending all these hours and times and researching and learning the best information and bringing that to you. And I just want to deeply appreciate that, because it does get very busy in society and with life and balance, and they're still showing up and like the way that they are. So I love to send them some feedback and some compliments, because, you know, some folks have thousands of people in their communities, and to keep in touch with everyone, it's kind of hard work, right? So I'm just going to write here, hi, please let me know if you have any questions, aha moments, anything that resonated. Now you're seeing that I can type as fast as I think. Okay, and multitask. I do meditate a lot. That's probably why I can. When I'm not, I'm doing everything. Okay, Dr. Karen Lee tells us, loving all of them, the interview so far. Dr. Annika Becker is quoted, the single most important thing you can do to improve your health in 2018 is focus on and heal your gut. What if 3 to 6 months from now, or 3 days from now, one needle mover change that you take from this event puts you into a zone of seeing how healthy digestion and health helps you help yourself, family, and others, and to do more of what you love to do? Isn't that amazing? Oh, Don just wrote, bless you, thank you so much. And he's got his cowboy and rainbow and everything. So thank you, Christine. That's to you and to everyone here who also loved his session. And for those who didn't, he's just full of love, isn't he? So Don also said, because about this, the series, oh my God, I love it. I know Steph has said, look, I love the energy. Hey, Magnus, thank you so much. Dr. Tom O'Brien was my favorite. Can you tell us why? I know, literally, I've got images I snapshot on my phone from all the apple stew recipes. In fact, I took the recipe, One Beautiful Soul. She wrote the recipe out. What was her name, Christine? Can you find her name for me? I want to just shout out to her without trawling through the Facebook group. I might look it up under the pictures. Yeah, or Heidi, have a look for me. Yeah, she wrote her recipe and someone else did, and then they sent photos of the apple pectin recipe. And it's just great because a lot of people have young children still in the group, and it's yummy stuff. Chad, would like to hear and learn more about the modern best methods in detail of testing our internal gut bacteria, what is normal and what is not normal. You know what? Thank you for asking that, Chad. I'm going to refer you to a couple of specific doctors and offerings that they shared for markers and for tests that they went into great detail about, because I asked them, so if we're going to get a test, okay, we think we have SIBO, how do we validate and verify that? Or what do we do? So can you write this down, Chad? It's Dr. Narala Jacoby, Dr. Jason Horolak. He's just offered a 4-week program, by the way, which another gentleman chimed in on, because he's up on the forefront of the science of the microbiome and that type of scientific level help and support. Like, Jason is amazing. And he's in our Facebook group, Chad, so feel free to mention him there. And Dr. Kurt Waller also talked about an acids test, open acids test, that you can do at home as well. And he personally goes through these results and comes up with strategies for folks who submit them to the clinic. This man is extraordinary. So, Chad, I hope that helps. Awesome. Adriana, thank you for being here. Love your earrings. Oh, thanks. I'm reading it going, oh, thank you. See, it's almost like resemblant of I wore them again, sorry, because they match the star image of our logo, which, by the way, I'm not going to go woo on you all, but I am, because I am a meditator, and you do get revelations often, and intuition's high, and vibration is high. I'm very happy a lot of the time, all of the time, which you've probably noticed. These earrings are cool, but the symbol, have a look at it. Adriana, I feel that you may like them. So I appreciate your beautiful compliment. You are gorgeous. Love your energy and earrings. Functional foods used for medicinal purposes date back centuries, and it seems like we're going back to origins and basics. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, I'm not going to go too tangential, but you're on the money. Here's what I'm going to share with you. Don Tolman talks about the 7 ancient healing methods to actually having a sustainable, healthy, beautiful life. And he brought in what the ancient Egyptians, the sweat net, did. Sorry, watch me go zoning in because I am half Greek and Egyptian. It's part of my heritage. And obviously, I learn a lot from that ancient basics that is still relevant now because it sustained the ages of ages. Another gentleman who talks about going back to basics is actually in his book, Dr. Sandeep Gupta. He is also on day 7 tomorrow. If you go to his website, Lotus Holistic Medicine, on the top, there's a little tab. You go in there and you can download his book, Back to Basics. Dr. Jillian Tita talked about basics, basic detox, and how to detox, as well as Dr. Venus Ramos. And I haven't forgotten about the physical connection, because I'm going to talk about that. And today, Steph is also, he works with gold medalist champions, high performance athletes, and he'll actually tell you and describe what's happening in the physiological body about that's the correlation of mind, gut, and health. So going back to basics, I mentioned those names. So you've got those: Sandeep, Don Tolman, Jillian, Venus. Physical. Difference between movement and exercise. Dr. Jillian Tita covers this, as so does Dr. Venus Ramos. Now, these two ladies also have a similar background to me. They've competed in athleticism and sports and on stage, whether it was display or sculpting competitions or whatever it is. Yes, I have a colourful background, people. It's crazy. You won't see much of my physical body online, but yeah, yeah, let's just talk about the fact that there's a difference between movement and exercise. The fact that I'm in my 40s and I don't have joint difficulties or issues means something has worked. So a lot of their practices are very sound, back to basics. Adriana, thank you for mentioning that. You're awesome. Happy Spirit. I remember you here last time. I love your name because you're a happy, joyous spirit. Thank you for being here. You say, I have heard many things that I'm ready to work on. Excited to see how it will help heal the issues, prebiotics, fermented foods, fasting, to name a few. Thank you from Florida. You're welcome. Thank you for being here, happy spirit. That's awesome. And I love that you mentioned here and you're excited to work and see how it will help heal the issues that you may be experiencing. Well, you know what's beautiful about having enthusiasm about doing something that you know why you're doing it? When you look at where the finger's pointing, you have a little vision for yourself, even if it's one that's 3 months away or you can't see past a week. Just look and do one thing constantly that you know feels and gives you a little joy. That's all. And I know Sage, who's on today, Sage Joyce, she talks about the be the good, do good, and reach for good. Dr. Vincent Pedre talked about gratitude and doing one thing and just do it. Don't do everything at once. You don't have to. Feel and tune in and see what's pragmatic and practical for you that you feel and know will align with being healthy, and then just do it. Nike, just do it. No, Nike didn't pay me to say that. Joyce, thank you for being here. I bought apples this morning and I'm going to make the applesauce. Yes, I'm on my way to a healthy gut. What if you already have a healthy gut? What if you have a healthy gut right now? And all you need to do is here's the potential gut situation as is status. I'm going to sound like I'm a project manager in IT right now because I've run massive projects for tech software companies, like massive projects, massive companies, like trillions of dollars of transactions worth. So my stuff is bulletproof. As is to be, roadmap and strategy. Where I'm at, where I'd love to be. How do I get to my present place now? How do you get here now to what you envisage for yourself? You envisage something for yourself because you may be seeing it through others, seeing it through your family, through your friends, through the experts you're hearing from. But what if what you see is actually a mirror of you? Cool, huh? If you can think of it like that, why not have a healthy disposition right now? What if? And Dr. Trevor Cates talks about the skin is like a mirror of what's going on in the body. I know I've mentioned this before as well. If you superimpose reflexology on the feet or on the face, organs, organs turn up by expressing through the skin. So I went a little woo-woo to real science. It's a mirror. So what you see in others, you can learn through others to help yourself and others, but also a state, you wouldn't see it if it wasn't part of you, because everybody has every trait. I'm not going to go down the quantum physics bandwagon now, but I could. Thank you. Oh, yay, Joyce. I bought apples. Yes, you're going to. Joyce, if you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you are. We'd love to see your applesauce. Show us. A few people have shown their applesauce and they've got ramekin cups and a bowl. One of them was loaded with like raisins and cinnamon. Whoever that lady was, find me their name, Heidi. Awesome. Thank you. Magnus, I can recommend fasting. 16-8, is that a method? It's easy. Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. Magnus, a couple of folks talked about fasting. I know Don Tolman does and chaperones beautiful fasts. I can tell you right now that Dr. Dan Pompa, if nobody listened to his interview, and you'll probably feel the high from our connection, he was on day 2 of his fast. Boom, he was just in the zone. Dr. Dan Pompa talks about fasting, and on his Facebook group, he he holds a space for thousands of folks to do fasting with him, with the methods. Please take a look there. I think you'd appreciate that a lot. Magnus, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. You're awesome. And fasting, I mean, I won't go into the technology and the science behind it, but Dr. Dan does a really good job. And he talks about the 5 days, and he talks about why, and the ketosis, and the you know, eating up of bad proteins, and the cleansing and binding versus reabsorbing. That's all I'm going to touch on, because I don't proclaim to be him, so I want to speak on behalf of him. Dr. Dan Pompa, please go back and watch his video. And if I'm just going to be very precise here to save anybody time, tip number 19 in our playbook. If you haven't already got the playbook, make sure you get it. He was actually, Dr. Dan Pompa was on day 2, okay? And he talks about toxicity and the effects on gut health, going upstream to find toxic causes. And he also talked about generations of toxic causes, like things through the generations, which I won't talk about here because he just does an amazing job. Dina, thank you. Dan Pompa's input on fasting was great. So helpful for gut health, weight loss, blood sugar control, and more. Yeah, exactly. And you know that for sure, because you're also a certified dietitian and you've got beautiful books. Yeah, so Dina, thank you for being here and mentioning that. I want to echo what you just shared. Oh, thank you, Dina. She's speaking back to Chad. Awesome. Thank you so much about gut tests. Oh, great. Dina, you've got some gut tests that you can share. Thank you so much. Contact Back to the Book Nutrition as well about gut tests that she's used. In fact, that's another conversation I had with Dina that I recall now. All of her clients that work with her go and get gut tests as well. Digestion tests, of course, the hormones, the tea, everything. So she knows what to go for and look for. Dr. Shell talked about a lot of tests as well, and some things that may be missing in tests from generic ones versus some very specific ones that she has and looks at. Like Dina looks at someone as a whole individual and lifestyle. So definitely reach out to Dina on that. Backtothebooknutrition.com. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Right, Christine Luke, that's right. Christine, she's been active in the Facebook group. Thank you, Christine. We loved your recipe. Thank you for sharing that and for taking the time. So her recipe was, yeah, included raisins for a little sweetener and cinnamon. And cinnamon, just search for cinnamon, it comes up. Thank you, Heidi. You're awesome. Okay, can anyone tell I'm a bit excited? Today, well, firstly, I just want to recap on resources and make sure everybody knows the resources that you've got at your fingertips to make sure that you get the most out of the next few days. And then I'm going to invite you to make sure you let me know what you think and want, because I've been asked so many times, some people are really disappointed because they've missed out on seeing folks. And I want your experience to be as best as possible. So maybe I'll talk about what I'm thinking of doing, but I need you to tell me that's what you want, because if it's not what you want, then I don't want to sort of email you twice a day for no reason. You know what I mean? So the resources, please make sure, if you haven't already, go to our Facebook group in the file section and download your playbook. The playbook will also be in the first email that goes out to you if you're just joining today, or you've just joined yesterday, or you haven't yet joined but you're watching this. I would like for you to make sure you download the playbook. Chris Jaffarai has just joined us. And Chris, I was just talking about you, and I literally have your text message here because I was going to do you a voice live as I was going to share a little bit about today, and I was going to talk about you. We talked about, oh my goodness, and even Kyle Brock has just commented on Instagram. Isn't he amazing? He's so in tune, that guy. Kyle Brock is also on today about poo and the future of medicine. When I was typing up poo, how many typos I got, aside from my Australian spelling. I'm joking, not joking. I always get caught up on that in spell checkers, even though I lived there for 12 years in the States, and I'm back every year because I love America. Yeah, so Kale Brock has just chimed in as well on our Instagram feed, and he shared our stuff. He's on today, Poo and the Future of Medicine, and really going back to basics about how tribes live in natural intelligence. So while I'm on that topic, Chris has just joined, known here as Chris Black, but Chris Jaffaraya. And if I may just also share, much love to you too, Chris, my soul brother. It's awesome to have you here. I'm just going through today's dates real quick. But before I do, I just want to recap the playbook. If nobody has that or you don't have it just yet, please go to our Facebook group, check your email us at support@healthygutexperts.com. You need to get the playbook because there's 38 awesome people and there's maybe 10 things you really want to find out and 3 you're going to walk away in action. But I want you to look at the titles and do and prioritize who you're going to watch when. So we're in day 6 now. It's the 30th of January and day 7 will be tomorrow. So today, our lineup, of course, has Nadine Artemis, Living Libations. I talked a little earlier about her beautiful work and I showed you her book, The Renegade Beauty. Gorgeous book. Of course, I use some of her products because they're really pure. And I only use pure stuff because it's got to be high vibe. You know, if you're doing the high vibe stuff, you've got to ingest and the high vibe stuff. Dr. Gillian Tita, she's on today, Natural Solutions for Digestive Health. And I spoke a little bit about that because there's movement and exercise and they're very different things. And Dr. Gillian is also a competitive athlete too. And she knows a thing or two about sustainability and she's amazing, really beautiful soul. And Steph Safandos is also a relational alchemist and he talks about leadership and integral health. So you'll actually learn from him directly how your gut is responsible for your social, physiological, emotional, relationship well-being and how that is linked. And Kyle already mentioned, talks a lot about that as well from the land, right? And Chris, now he's the founder of Sacred Earth. You may have come across him on Facebook. Gut resonance, organic versus biodynamics food. The reason I also love Chris's interview, because he almost summarizes a lot of what certain experts have talked about on your correlation to nature, natural intelligence, and your discernment process. And that's what I love about Chris's interview, is the discernment process. So what I love to share is he talks even about parasites. Now, Dr. Anne-Louise Gilman, if you haven't already tuned into her interview or you're a Platinum Pass holder, grab her interview. But Chris will talk about biodynamics. He will talk about nature. He will talk about discernment. What is the source of your food and things like that, and where is it coming from? There's an action guide that we summarize in the bonus, in the Platinum Pass 2 that really nets it out. But Chris has learned from some of the best health advocates on the planet, and he really nets that out for you. He even talks a little bit about universal laws, quantum physics, and he talks about Steiner as well, and how some of this information is readily available to you, and that information and knowledge is power, and it's going to empower you. So please tune in to Chris's interview today and like his Facebook group, the Sacred Earth One, because it's beautiful. There's a lot of amazing folks in there. Happy Spirit, thank you so much for being here again. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for your hard work and smiling face through this summit. Also, thanks to the others that are not in the lights. It's all about teamwork. Thank you. You're beautiful. And I love that you said that, because really, you know, sometimes it does take a village. And not only was I born and raised from village people, I really was. No, I'm not joking. I'm not even joking. From Greek villages, where you really live a biodynamics-based life. It's the way we were raised, which is why I'm a city girl, but really have a village sort of culture-based heart. That's our background. And it really is beautiful to see everyone showing up for themselves and for others, and tuning in and chiming in on the Facebook group, because sometimes folks are not wanting to express what's going on, but when you are there and you hold the space and you admire what's happening for others and you're learning through others, someone usually says something that you were going to say but didn't. because there's a reason why we're all together. So I thank you for sharing with that that happy spirit. I just love saying your name, happy spirit. Okay, the lineup for today, I've mentioned Sage Joya. She talks about a topic that, to be quite honest, I'm an advocate of. Dr. John Duyard in the Vedic practice, Dr. Keith Wallace, as well as Dr. Rick Sarnak. They're gentlemen that I personally know, including Dr. Anne Louise, who would likely, have enemas or talk about them from a panchakarma or a purification perspective, because it's a practice. Now, Sage talks about the most significant part of the gut in our communication system being the colon. Okay? There's various aspects of the colon. Someone wrote in here that, wrote to me, their family member has an ulcer of the duodenum, which is in the small intestine. You can get different types of ulcers, blah, blah, blah. John Tolman, ulcer and ulcerative colitis. He has a beautiful recipe that he shares in his talk, and it's in the action guide in the Platinum Pass. I'm not kidding when I say this. Christine has been amazing, helping me by listening to the interviews, taking my notes and aspects of putting these action guides together. And I just want you to know that, I just want you to know that some of the beautiful help that she's helped us with will help you literally come in to the Platinum Pass, go to each expert, and look at a crib note, literally as if you were studying for your SATs, your SATs, or your high school certificate or an education, like the crib notes on everything poignant and succinct and the golden nugget that each expert talks about. It is seriously amazing. And for the type A and the very busy, is amazing. Yeah, thank you, Dina. Dr. Tita's seminar, she's a great resource. She's amazing. I have a lot in common with Dr. Gillian, aside from the fact she's also based in North Carolina next to our sponsor's headquarters, Australian Excellence. Dr. Gillian is on it. She's onto it. She talks also about the grand central nervous system, and she's got a Chinese traditional medicine background, and you'll hear about the earth element on the gut, but she'll give you real practical ways to understand how to detox, move certain foods out of your diet, not all at once, but do things in a pace that works for you. Jillian is awesome. Like, I would totally train and hang out with her if I live closer, but we're going to catch up in a few months. She's amazing. Thank you, Heidi, for your help, my dear. You are awesome. Christine, thank you. Now, I want to offer a last moment invitation. Please pick my brain. Write me a message here. Let me know if there's an aha moment that you want to share, or a question that you have that I could direct you to, please. I have this unique way when I connect with these beautiful experts and souls. I really feel their journey. And you know what's amazing? A lot of them have had their own journey. And they've gone to medical school, they've gone to functional medicine school, they've gone and learned integrative methods, integrative oncology or integrative methods, or Chinese traditional medicine or naturopathy, dietitian. They've been dedicated and devoting their life to helping others. And that warms my heart, because they really are missioned to help, and they do help. And through their own journey. And in fact, Dina, who's on, has her own journey, and she's amazing. And so I encourage, if you also have the Platinum Pass, to go to day 4 and listen to Dina's story and Dr. Karen Lee's journey. And Dr. Karen's been a saint. She's popped up in our Facebook group contributing too. She's amazing. Dr. Anna Kabeka, I love her work. And, she really helps a lot of women with their health too. So if I may, I'm just going to share a couple of testimonials again that we've received before I wrap up here. And I'm going to open this file here where they're all here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So many people wrote in and shared what they're thinking, feeling. Okay, yeah, Christine Luke. Her recipes, and a couple of other folks chimed in for the apple pectin recipe from Dr. Tom O'Brien. It's the applesauce. It smells and tastes delicious. He recommends 2 tablespoons daily to increase IAK. And Christine used organic apples, water, cinnamon, a couple of raisins. And she says it's an easy, positive change. Has anyone else tried making it? So that's in the Facebook group. Someone who also wrote in, Michelle Hayes, she says that Lee Holmes had such a gentle approach, which is good and great for implementing some of these new ideas. And I like the explanation of what diatomaceous earth is and what it's, or diatomaceous, I'm just copying her spelling, diatomaceous earth. That's something I need to put in my program. And the golden love your gut sounds, or the golden love your gut sounds yummy. It is yummy. I actually have that. Lee is based in Sydney like I am, and her diatomaceous earth blend is actually really enjoyable, and she's got beautiful recipes online as well. I know Dr. Karen Lee has recipes, and Dina does too. So Claire Holberton says, I just want to thank you for doing this. I have so many friends, including myself, suffering from what I realize is bad gut health. I'm sharing it left, right, and center, and I hope my friends listen. It's so real what is happening, and the speakers are truly inspiring and really inspiring. Thank you. I've turned into a gut summit chunky. That is awesome. Great. Has anyone else got any other questions? Oh, the pain births the purpose. Thank you, Dina. You know, I said in the first hangout I did is, you know, our biggest mess is our biggest message. Say what? Yeah. Our biggest mess, our stressings are blessings. And the pain births the purpose. Spot on, Dina. Thank you for sharing that. I hope a few of you felt my heart with that one, because she's 1,000% on the money there. For any of you that feel that you're struggling with your health, or you've come in and you're like, well, I want to get there, and I talked about the mirror, but if you want to get there, what if you were already there? You're just figuring out that roadmap and strategy that's high quality. The higher quality the questions you ask, the higher quality your life becomes. And your success is to the degree that you can help fill not only your own voids or the pain, but others. And when you do that, like the Patanjali Sutra, you go beyond extraordinary to help and to do what you're here to do, because you are extraordinary. You are, you know, you are a representation of natural intelligence. I mean, the fact that I can be with you and connect with you guys and you know, be in the physical flesh is amazing. Brenda, I love Natalie Credunden's interview. Yes, I'm in Florida and would have no problem Skyping with her. However, how would one approach lab testing? Brenda, great question. Natalie Credunden is amazing. And, you know, she also talks about the difference between a slow or fast SIBO recovery. And she, like Dr. Narala, check back in with their clients. Now, Natalie, like Steph, but she's also, of course, a nurse, and Dr. Jillian has a naturopathy background and Chinese traditional medicine fusion. They've got, you know, the background to help you put tests in place. Brenda, I would recommend you reach out to website, naturalresonance.com. Have a look if there's, yeah, I've got her email here, but just make sure we don't forget that. Natalie Credunden, reach out to her. She'll tell you what tests and what to ask for. If you're in Florida, Skype with her for sure. And just so you know, she's in the same time zone as me. So for the time that we started at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's 7 a.m. here in Australia. Okay? Chad, to add to applesauce. Yes, made applesauce with peels, added raw cranberries, no sugar. It came out great. Awesome. Tastes good too. Should be good for the gut. Perfect, Chad. So as you can see, so Chad and Christine, I'm not sure if she's on right now because she's getting so much kudos. In fact, Heidi, can you chime Christine back in the Facebook group and tell her that we've just sung her praises here, and thank you so much. That's amazing. Yeah, 16 hours ahead from EST. That's right. Thanks, Christine. That's the Sydney or Australian Eastern Standard Time Zone difference. What you're learning from what Chad and Christine are doing is they're taking a basic recipe and they're making it interesting by modifying it. So I know Dina has some great recipes and she helps people with their food preparation. She's got a beautiful zero effort gut health strategy, which again, you know, she's a mum, she's got 2 children, she's a busy woman and she's serving and helping many people too. So a lot of those efficiencies I'm not going to say the word shortcuts. I'm going to say efficiencies, because they've done something that works and they've continued to modify and make, if the efficacies of it, it's more efficient. Okay. So Chad, awesome. Let us know, like, maybe if you're not in the Facebook group, chime in, search on cinnamon. You'll see Christine's recipe. Let us know that this one is one you like. I love that. Berries and cranberries. Berries are amazing. I think the Latin name is vaccinos because they're like a natural vaccine. And speaking of vaccines, listen to Dr. Tom O'Brien's interview and Dr. Kurt Wohler and Dr. Dan Pomper, if anyone has that question, because I'm not going to answer that here. As you see my eyes glazing over, it's such a complex topic. Chris, Aliki, thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. You're awesome. Thank you for being here. Back to the book, Nutrition. Yes, Brenda, I'd encourage you to contact Natalie directly. She can likely order labs be delivered to your home and conducted at a lab near you. Most of us who conduct virtual visits do it that way. Thank you, Dina. What an amazing opportunity to connect with experts that you feel that could be one of your helpers from across the globe and actually be able to do that. Amazing. Again, not surprising to me. I've been in tech for years, but amazing. Thank you. Chad, I really like the simple solutions to a healthy gut that were made throughout the presentations. Keep it simple and facts-based on what works best from ancient times to modern times. Thank you. That's awesome. I love that you said that. And I agree with you. And, you know, simplicity and simple is often the best thing. You know, meditation, breathing exercises, being in homeostasis is actually a very simple thing. The more you find that simplicity in your life, the more goodness you allow yourself to feel and be. It's directly correlated. And some of these beautiful experts have shared very complex cases from their own journey, and they've really filtered through what works, you know? Amazing. Okay, a couple more testimonials and things that are coming in. Someone says, I love, in capitals, Dr. Tom, who learned something new from him today. And then like 10 people chimed in. Must have a listen, catch up. He was great. A real wake-up call to what's happening on our planet. And Colin, and that's from Michelle. And Colin says, totally agree, Michelle. It's a big problem which most people have no idea about. You know, the more awareness you have, you can be and make more of a change. When you have the observation and the awareness, you can be your own advocate for health, which is what we've obviously talked about the whole time. That's why we say there's no one protocol that fits all or diet that fits all. I don't like the word diet anyway. But the nutrition's a better word, like what Dina says. Back to the book, Nutrition. You know, Ashley Croft talks about, you know, you're not what you eat so much as what you absorb and ingest. And a few other folks have said that. But if you look at a macro level, observe and have the awareness for what's going on in your life or on the planet, you have the power to make a change and take an action. You really do. And that's how empowering this is. So what else is a couple of, okay, actually, great. That's awesome. Marla says, Dr. Shell is amazing. She has helped me so much in restoring my health back. She's warm and engaging, and she really cares about each person. So very glad you had her as one of your speakers for Love Hearts. Of course, Dr. Shell is awesome. She really looks at you as a whole. Susan Milton Palmer says, I learned quite a bit watching Dr. Tom O'Brien's interview this morning, and I'm inspired. Simultaneously, I'm alarmed. I think most residents of the US understand that we're in jeopardy with our environment, with the many industries and sustained practices that are not life-supporting. And despite all evidence to the contrary, our government will not be dissuaded by a minor thing like citizen health. With so many species already extinct, will our individual battles to pursue natural, healthier daily processes or practices really support us over the next 40 years? And Jennifer says, this is gold and so easy. And Jim says, excellent here. Because Dr. Tom, wow, he's on it. Amazing. And what he says is quite factual. So teaching you the empowerment of discerning is amazing. Now, if I may also refer you, if you're not already a Platinum Pass holder, please consider it. He's offered a 30-day free membership to his website. Yeah, and he's amazing, and his work is really beautiful. There's access to his Betrayal Gut series. You'll have chapter 3 of the actual gut and microbiome health from his book, The Autoimmune Fix, which he was so cute. He kept putting it in the screen. He's so much fun. He's awesome too, and he's on it. So that Platinum Pass, to be quite candid, is alone worth the generosity of folks like, you know, Dr. Tom and Dr. Dan and what they're offering. Dr. John Douillard has some cleanses in there, a 4-day short home cleanse and a liver and gallbladder cleanse. And he's been in practice teaching and running these for 30 years, and he's documented in a way so he's like there with you every step of the way. It's amazing. Brenda says, thank you, Dina and Alika, for your sponsors. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. I'll just read out a couple more testimonials. Maybe that might inspire you to ask a question or share anything else that resonates, because we will wrap up here in just a moment. Oh, and here's a beautiful soul. My sarcoidosis miracle. She has said, this summit is amazing. A full buffet of delicious information to keep our bodies healthy. Thank you. You probably felt my heart then. Wow. She's an inspiration, this lady. Jan K-Spot Walsh, my sarcoidosis miracle, because she is a sarcoidosis miracle. 3 years and she's completely clear of it. If you don't know how, ask me how. I'll put you in touch with her, okay? There's another beautiful soul that turned up in our Facebook group, Melinda Stephen, who's also had her Lyme cured since 2014. And I know some folks reached out to her. Maybe it was actually you, Brenda. I'm starting to remember the conversation. But she's amazing. And anyway, she's the lady who introduced me to Dr. Sandeep, who talks about CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome. He has a plethora of background, including having worked with Dr. Gabrielle Cousins, functional medicine. He's conscious, and his stuff is amazing. He talks about tests, the process, CIRS, how to get back to basics. Someone else says, Melinda McLennan, Lee Holmes is incredible and so inspirational, explains things in a way everyone can understand. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Just the thank you, the testimonials. Brenda, I think that's you. You mentioned about Dr. Janet Zan and testimonial. What an amazing, inspiring story. This was about a child that was on the spectrum that walked into Dr. Janet's office. I really loved listening and really felt connected with what she was talking about. Another great addition to the show. Thank you. Dr. Karen Lee, Marilyn says, this was fabulous. I've been trying to figure out how to heal my rash. Now I can implement this info. And also, Dr. Karen Lee has a quick fix if you're queasy or nauseous in her in our Facebook group. Search on her name, you'll find it in there. And Robin Shaw also has an immune boosting elixir that is from her grandmother, and she shares it. It's also in the playbook. It's a recipe. So just download that. It's amazing. Wow. Okay. I mean, there's so many testimonials. I can't keep up. Here's one that's in upper caps. Janie says, amazing. I'm on the healing side of all this wonderful, very informative and life-giving information. So happy to get healthy again. So much thanks for giving me my life back. She obviously knows one or two of the experts on this event, which is how she found us. Okay. Anyone has any more questions? I would love to answer them as we wrap up here. All right. Anyone else? I have a couple questions that came in earlier, and I will read them out if you don't mind. And they're a little bit logistical based, but they're in our FAQs. But I know some folks asked me, and I want to ask you if this is something you want. So I'd like you to cheer or say, hey, put your hand up, message us on the Facebook group, tag me, please tag me, tag Heidi Thompson, Christine Field. I've been asked, what if we miss out on our sessions? Here's where I'm going with this. What if we miss out on our sessions? Well, firstly, the Platinum Pass is available. It's still available if you act now, I believe. My team's put something together there. But grab that Platinum Pass if you like. Have a look through it. It is phenomenal. We're up to day 6 today, and every day 1 through 5 is already released, as is all the bonuses for you to download. There's an audio you can download, video you can download, the action guides that are just so succinct and on point for each of you. If you want to go in and re-listen to what's a priority, please do that. The Platinum Pass, you can get that back on, you can actually see that off the Speaker Day page today. Just click on that to upgrade, the red button, and as I'm clicking into the air, what for? I don't know. The other thing is, the other question, what was it? Oh yeah, is there an encore? Not yet. Do you want me to convince my team to technically we're going to have to build a page out to have everyone on one page. It shouldn't take too long. The team's already in day 6. They've been amazing helping support us. So shout out to Christine, Heidi, Mitch, Ryan, Dr. Audrey, who sponsored the event. Thank you so, so much. We couldn't have done it unless we're all together helping in collaboration. Is there an encore? You let me know if you would like an encore. I need at least 10 yeses, because if it, it's like an FAQ. If someone asks the question at least 5 times, then we need to make an FAQ. Please let me know if you want an encore. Anyone want to chime in and share? I know we've gone over an hour, but let me know, and I'll go back and read the comments later and message us in the Facebook group. I would love to make sure we do that if it's what you want. Okay, there are the FAQs that I've shared. Anybody else have anything else they'd like to share? Because we will wrap up in just a moment here. All right. So many testimonials, so much love, great environment in the Facebook group. We're in day 6 right now and day 7 tomorrow. Okay, Brenda wants an encore just to hear Don Tolman. You're awesome. I'm just going to write this. Encore would be great. Thank you. Okay. Oh, hang on. Here we are. I'm just going to do this. This is a cracker. I have to record this for Don again. I've asked folks, we're live still on the YouTube Hangout. I had like over 1,000 views or whatever on the first day. I've asked if people want an encore, because we've talked about 7 ancient strategies and ways to heal that is still applicable in the modern day, the ancients that actually survived the ages of ages. And someone's just said, I would love an encore just to hear Don Tolman. And Christine Field has already spoken about you 3 times. I love Don Tolman. And okay, who else? Good night from Sweden. Good night, Magnus. Thank you for being here. You're awesome. I'd love an encore for my family. Awesome, Christine. We will do that for you, my dear. I've got to convince you, because you're going to help me with the tech to put this together. Joking, not joking. Chad, include a session on functional medicine in future. Well, I guess there's a lot of functional medicine practitioners. The conversation on functional medicine has been sprinkled in. Many of functional medicine, Dr. Daniel Pompa, Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Frank Lipman. You know what? I know, Chad, I can hear where you're going with that, because I can see how technical you'd like to get in the future. And I will take that on, actually, because we will do another summit based on the feedback here has been amazing. Yeah, the basics and what it is. And yeah, you got it, Chad. That's a great suggestion. I will actually be adding a couple more interviews over the next period. If there's someone that you like, message us in the Facebook group or tag us and let me know, because I can always reach out to them, aside from some of the functional medicine practitioners I've already interviewed here. Thank you. Great question. Great ask. Christine will make a note of that. Okay, encore. I'm not at 10 encore requests, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got the energy for it. I mean, I'm in day 6. I don't see myself like flopping on the ground, like burnt out, because I don't get burnt out. I have strategies in place. Adriana, look into Salvina raw maguey sap as a functional food. Salviana. You know, some people have talked about tiger nuts as well. They're in Australia. I think they're native to New Zealand, actually, tiger nuts as a prebiotic option. Someone put a beautiful article about 30 different prebiotic type of foods in our Facebook group. Heidi, you can maybe dig that up. That was really helpful. Adriana, thank you for that. If you'd like to get a little bit of research about that, raw guy sap. That's sap. Wow. Tiger nuts is a prebiotic. Yes, exactly, Dina. Someone wrote about them. I know you got to soak those things. They're quite tasty. Like most things like nuts and grains, or rather pulses. In fact, speaking of pulse, I love Don Tolman's pulses. He's got raw, mineral-rich sea salts, or not sea, Celtic salts, beautiful salts, stunning salts. Helichrysum, amazing. Oh, he just says, love you. He's so beautiful. He's like my uncle. I just love him. Tiger nuts is a prebiotic. Okay. Awesome tips. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Adriana, if you want to pop into the Facebook group, share a little bit about the Salviana raw magi sap. I'm going to write a note on that. I'm going to look into that. I haven't heard of that before, but sounds levitational to me, and it's raw, so it's in its full natural intelligence without hindrance. And that's why I also love ocean-derived base minerals, and if your nutrition depleted, one tip that I'd offer you today, if you don't already do that, is some sort of ocean-derived mineral or sea salt. Mix that in water. Your absorbability, and the point is, the science behind it is stress causes acidity in the body and minerals alkalize acids. There's some mineral traces also that are whole mineral, not isolated, like isolated magnesium or selenium or whatever, not isolated but whole, in the Australian Excellence as well. That's why I love that as a digestive excellence maintenance drink. I take their prebiotic because it's amazing. A lot of experts here also have some products on their website. Some folks have asked about, protein dense or raw or non dairy based supplementation for protein shakes and things like that. So a few people have some amazing greens and maca greens. I know Dr. Annika Becker has a great, beautiful compound. Dr. Frank has some product. Dr. Trevor Cates has done a lot of research about naturals, treating the skin naturally too. Dina, who's live here, would have lots of natural recommendations because she does put diet plans together for people who are struggling with complex cases and chronic cases as well. She's amazing. Yeah, sure. Prebiotics in the Facebook group. Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, can't post links. No problem. Thank you on that. Everyone, thank you for being here. There's no other final thoughts that I have. I feel we've covered a lot. Oh, here's another one. Pastured collagen is an excellent dairy-free protein source that's also gut healthy. Thank you. Good suggestion. And you've got some products on your website too, Dina. I know that as well. That's why I mentioned you in that thread. Good point. Pastured collagen. Okay. Pop in the Facebook group if you haven't already. I know we're in day 6, but our Facebook group will stay on. Why? Because I have more for you later. I can't tell you why now because it's just going to overwhelm everybody. So just hang in there. Thank you for your vote for an encore. I will go back and convince my team now. I've got the energy for it. I know they do. Okay, here's a question. How do we know what type of diet to pick from Jim? So many doctor and experts say paleo is the best, while other doctors and experts say vegan is best. Jim, awesome question. In fact, there's a gentleman, is it Marius? Somebody asked about vegan. Someone asked me about treating SIBO with a biphasic diet with vegan alternatives. That's one thing. The other question, someone said, look, I've heard so much about broth. I'm vegan. I don't want to use animal broth. There's vegetable broth. But the collagen sources, you want to do your research on animal-based, as Don says, non-animal rent-based products. There's alternative options for you. based on the nutrition and then the density of that nutrition. That's a term I know Chris used and a few people use, nutrition density. Now, pectin, plant-based is good for the gut. Thank you, Chad. Absolutely. Plant-based. I mean, the pectin recipe from Dr. Tom has been a hit, and I dare say it's beautiful. Tastes good too. Jim, to answer your question, good question. I'm going to give you an idea that you may already know this either way. Some experts have come on also saying it's overwhelming when you've got to eliminate everything out of your diet. And I joke and say, so you can survive on a blade of grass, right? It's hardcore when you sort of jump in to discern what you're going to do or eliminate, because you realize whether you've been having processed foods or not, you've been having packaged foods or not, you want to go more to whole base, back to basics, what comes out of the, the earth. And if you want to have animal products, then you do. That's okay, because some people, it's a benefit to them, because there's no one person the same. So, Jim, I love your question, because I think a few people struggle with that. I've heard paleo mentioned several times too. And some say vegan is best. Why? I guess the question to ask yourself is what is it that you would love to do for your health, and tune back into the vision for you in your health, and what you know when you're in your optimum health helps you thrive with your health. Like if you kind of take a note pad and just start brainstorming, when was I my optimal health? Am I in my best health now? Do I think I can be more thriving? And if that's the case, why would I like to be more healthy and thriving? And, what am I going to do with that when I get there? And then you tap back into a past or a predicament or whatever it is that's worked for you, and tune into how that feels in the situation at that time, and what you were eating and what you were having around you as your lifestyle and what was working for you, because it's easier for us to find good moments. Sometimes the hard moments is also hard, but so much stress has come on around it. So if you think about the food that's going to suit you, just discern what you feel when you're connecting to the way you feel about that food. Like I've got my spring dragon tea here, the Gynostema tea, for example. This is the healthiest tea on earth. Highly adaptogenic, it's amazing, but my body feels good next to it. Ocean-derived based minerals, it feels good next to it. Digestive excellence, it feels good next to it, that probiotic. The kind of nutrition and food. Just discern, trust yourself is what I'm saying, Jim. Hopefully I'm giving you some ideas, mate, but you're on it. Just tune into why and what, and see how your body feels top to toe. Just trust it. And then try something, and if it doesn't feel right, or you try a little moderation, like me being Greek, we're all about moderation, and that's it. So I think that might help you. Hopefully that helps. I didn't really answer the direct question. I'm inspiring you to answer it because you're already on it. The fact that you're asking that question is because you know the answer. I trust you to do that. You're awesome. Chad, my best health to date, eat low fat. You probably meant to say fat. Eat low, whole foods. No, you probably didn't mean low fat. But you probably did, because fats are good for you too. I mean, we need the right fats, just not the wrong ones. Whole food, plant-based diet with lots of herbs and spices. That's awesome, Chad. Thank you. That's pretty similar to what I do. Can't beat the village out of me. It's like what we do. Back to basics. I mean, there's rosemary outside. There's some fruits outside. There's, carrots over there. My neighbor went crazy on the carrots. So many. Jim, thank you for your help. You're a true. Oh, thank you. Love the series, and we need more of them. Yes, we do, Jim. The encore, if you want an encore, we'll play that again. I've got to go back and put the business case to my team, but your input has been valuable. And I'm going to probably create a survey for all of you, and I would love to ask you a favor to let me know what you want more of, want to learn more of. So I've already written down functional medicine. Chad mentioned that, just the basics of that, because I love that you want to be so empowered. I mean, we've been in this for ages. Yeah, it is low fat. Okay, thanks, Chad. Awesome. thank you all for being here. We've been on for 1.5 hours. I know I've kind of gone on tangents, but I think we've just gotten together like a community, as if we were sitting by a campfire or sitting outside by the beach, and having a good old chat with old friends. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the summit. We couldn't have put this together or had this kind of momentum if it hasn't been for you. But it's not over yet. We're in day 6 today. Please spend the time, have a look at the experts that you love and that resonate with you. I know a few have chimed in and popped on here in the chat room. So thank you so much. And don't forget, you're empowered to be your own health advocate. No matter what anybody says, really trust yourself. Know why you'd love to be healthy. And you're empowered to identify some sort of root cause to stop the mess and get back to basics about who you really are and find and be that good in you, because that's who you really are at your essence. You really are that. We are, we're a representation of natural intelligence, and nature has all the answers around us. And the fact that you ask your own questions or are diving deep into researching this is a testimony to who you are for the sake of yourself and your family and friends and others. And that's what builds strong communities, strong tribes, and that's hopefully what we have here in our Facebook group and through the collection of experts and amazing souls that have joined us. So thank you for being here and for being you. We just want you to be more more you, and enjoy. And reach out for questions. Tag me in the Facebook group. Thank you to my team that have helped us put this together. And I will go and convince them now to see if we can do an encore, okay? So we'll see, and you'll hear from me soon. Thank you.